All right. Thanks for enjoying with me thus far. We are 34 minutes in to the show, and I am still just really excited and humbled by just today. I'm enjoying it very much. And that brings us to the living well portion of the show today. Um, we had spoken about um, wearing masks and not really truly knowing who we are once we take them off, and learning ourselves. And I came to realize today that I've known this for a very long time, but I guess to experience again, I guess today, and really just take it in, which is knowing the difference between being lonely and being alone. And there is a difference because I've been lonely before. I have, but I've also been all right with being alone before. And I love that very much. Of course, no one likes being lonely, so, that's a given. But I've learned in my years how to just be okay with being alone. Because even though I might physically or really mentally, because it's more in your mind than anything, because as long as your phone rings or you're in contact with other people who actually ask the question, how are you today? You're really not alone. But, some people might take it as a relationship status as far as having a man or having a woman or, however you want to see it. Some people might take it in the mind frame of having friends, whether you have a lot of friends or you have the bare minimum, because guess what? Even if you got family members that you talk to on a regular basis, they count as friends because they're taking up a friend's spot. Just saying. So we are really never alone as long as we're able to see that. There's always somebody somewhere who cares about you. There's always somebody somewhere that may not even say it, but they do. And they, I look at things like that. And that means a lot to me because when you're lonely, like I said, it's an emotion you go through and everybody goes through it. Hey, I've gone through it before, but I'm all right with being alone today. And my 47th year on this planet. I'm sorry. I'm still happy about making it to 47 because I know a lot of people didn't. But this is pretty cool. And I'm all right with being alone because I know that I'm really not. Got you guys because you guys are listening. And if you guys are listening, I know you care enough because you pushed the button to listen. So thank you. And part of that is basically outside of knowing whether or not, or rather knowing the difference between being alone and being lonely, I try to divide my mind space in different areas so that I'm not like focused on one thing. Because, if you focus on one thing, that's the only thing you're going to take in and you're going to miss a whole lot. So I try to take as much in different ways as possible. Just learning, every day I use my day to learn. I try to learn something, but anyway, that's just something that I believe in doing because once you stop learning, you stop growing. Once you stop growing, what's your point? Because you're not going to change at that point. You leave no room for change once you stop growing and you stop learning. So I just love the idea of growing and learning to grow. Anyway, taking care of my body is very important to me because we only got one. And I'm trying to hold on to my original parts for as long as I can. So that being said, I do everything that I can to research not just the body in general, but my body, particularly because I got to live in my body. I'm the only one that knows how my body feels. I'm the only one that knows exactly what is going in and outside of my body. So I pay attention to it. And part of paying attention to it is knowing what is going inside your body. And I look at water as a very important component that goes inside the body. Because if you go on the EPA website and punch in your zip code, you will see how many carcinogens are in your sewage water, meaning everything that comes through your sink faucet, everything. And on general, I've punched in a lot of different ones around the country, and I found that there's basically an average of about 7 carcinogens that's being reported being in your water. But there's also other spreadsheets and breakdowns, and you can see more of what's going on or whatever if you just keep clicking through the links. So I tell you, go take a look at that. And then also when it comes to your bottled water, knowing your bottled water, and what you're drinking, because your body needs water. Your body needs alkaline water. What is alkaline water? Basically, alkaline water in the purest form is coming straight from the earth. Let's say, like they always say, the alpine, mountains, things like that. That natural spring water, that beautiful natural spring water that picks up all of the minerals from everything that it touches so that it can replenish our bodies naturally. That is the best water to drink. But we live in, congested areas where that is not an option. So we got to make do. So when we're looking for water, we have to know what's acidic and what's non-acidic. And I'll post up on my social media sites the, I guess you could say, the scale of acidic to alkaline waters, and you guys take a look and start to see whether or not you're putting that acid water or the acidic water into your body more so than you are putting the alkaline water. Because the difference between acid and alkaline, of course, if you didn't pay attention in science, which I don't mind because I know that there's a lot of people that haven't, but I love science. So acid equals, like tomatoes and citrus, some citrus fruit and things like that. Even different foods like your basic milk and dairies, they're acidic. So if that versus, and I'm just giving examples, to alkaline, meaning, your fresh fruits and vegetables, your green leafies, things like that. The beans, the lentils, the things that don't erode, I guess you could say, the body, because the body needs the alkaline water because it needs to use it for the muscles. It needs to use it for all of the highways and byways. If anybody ever watched Osmosis Joe, I'm a nerd. I know that. I say it out loud. I'm not ashamed of it. I love it because it taught me a lot of things in very simple-minded ways so that I can enjoy it and love it. Enjoy it and learn it. But all the highways and byways of the body is where the alkaline water is needed. So if you're pouring more acid into the body, plus you're eating acid, your body's not going to work at its optimal. You might see it in your skin. You might see it in your hair and nails. You might see it in how your organs work or your muscle. You might see it in different ways. It just depends on the person. But having more alkaline life is healthier for you anyway, because it provides you a natural defense from a lot of illnesses and situations that we get into, like I said again, the chronic diseases and things like that. So just looking at one thing that I do that is a part of my everyday to get myself in an alkaline or a homeostasis state, is pay attention to my water. I tend to drink water that is a 7.4 and above. I know it costs more, but I'd rather take the cost more and have good water, because you can tell the difference between good, alkaline water, because no matter where it's sitting, it still has that fresh kind of taste and it's still refreshing, and you don't have to drink more and more and more and more. Once you have, a serving of it, you feel replenished. You feel refreshed. You don't feel like, oh my God, I'm more thirsty than I was before I started this. That's not how you feel. So, it's a difference. And you know the difference, just like I said, because your body will tell you it feels this way, it feels that way. If it doesn't feel any different, then you might not notice it. If you don't see that your organs are cleaning themselves out a little bit better, then you might not know the difference, because sometimes people don't pay attention to that stuff. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't, there's sometimes I don't pay attention to a whole lot of things, but I have a habit of paying attention to my body. So, I can tell you from experience, how it feels. Just those are just my experiences, but you have to try it yourself, and see how it feels for you. A few other things that I do outside of my water, and again, I'm gonna post the scale. I guess you call it a scale, from acidic to alkaline scales with the water brands, so that you can see what the